YugiNoNo!
Okay, so now that we have gone over Yugi Kaiba format and Goat format, the next most requested format is TeleDAD. So in this video, we are going to be going over relevant cards, decks, and strategies for TeleDAD format. Just like Goat format, there is an awesome card pool to work with here, and there is also some very iconic Yu-Gi-Oh decks around this format, so there is some great variety that is possible. Even though TeleDAD is considered by many to be a tier 0 format because of the dominant deck being TeleDAD, the deck was notoriously expensive back in the day, so many other decks were played. We are mainly going to be talking about TeleDAD in this video, but I am going to be going over other decks as well. But before we get started, please remember to support the channel through either donations through Patreon or by buying cards from me on eBay. The links to both are down in the description. So TeleDAD format was defined by the September 2008 ban list, but the format is called TeleDAD because of the dominant deck at the time. Very similar to Goat format being called Goat format because of Goat control. The deck is called TeleDAD because it plays emergency teleports for Kree-bonds, and DAD stands for Dark Armed Dragon. The deck is very powerful for its time, and its goal is to not only get out Dark Armed Dragon, but to make level 8 synchros using Destiny Hero Malicious. There were several variants of the build at the time, but before we get into all of that, let's look at the ban list. The ban list is a lot longer in 2008 and is closer to the list that we have today in comparison to Goat format, for example. So to save time, I'm gonna say this all really fast. For banned monsters, we have
Blackluster Soldier, Chaos Emperor Dragon, Chaos Sorcerer, Cyberstein, Cyberjar, Dark Magician of Chaos, Destiny Hero Disc Commander, Fiberjar, Magical Scientist, Magician of Faith, Makira the Destructor, Sinister Serpent, Thousand Eyes Restrict, Tribe Infecting Virus, Tsukiyomi, Victory Dragon, Witch of the Black Forest, and Yatagarasu.
For banned spells, we have
Butterfly Dagger Elma, Change of Heart, Confiscation, Dark Hole, Delinquent Duo, Dimension Fusion, Graceful Charity, Harpy's Feather Duster, Last Will, Metamorphosis, Mirage of Nightmare, Painful Choice, Pot of Greed, Premature Burial, Raigeki, Snatch Steal, and the Forceful Sentry.
For banned traps, we have
Call of the Haunted, Exchange of the Spirit, Imperial Order, Last Turn, Ring of Destruction, and Time Seal.
For our limited monsters, we have
Breaker the Magical Warrior, Cyber Dragon, Card Trooper, Dandelion, DD Warrior Lady, Elemental Hero Stratos, Exodia the Forbidden One and all of his limbs, Green Baboon, Defender of the Forest, Morphing Jar, Neospatian Grand Mole, Night Assailant, Rise of the Storm Monarch, Sengan, Snipe Hunter, Spear Reaper, Treeborn Frog, and Twin-Headed Behemoth.
For our limited spells, we have
Advanced Ritual Arts, Brain Control, Card Destruction, Fissure, Future Fusion, Giant Trunade, Gold Sarcophagus, Heavy Storm, Level Limit Area B, Limiter Removal, Megamorph, Monster Gates, Monster Reborn, Mystical Space Typhoon, Overload Fusion, Reasoning, Scapegoat, Smashing Ground, Swords of Revealing Light, and United We Stand.
And for limited traps, we have
Ceasefire, Crush Card Virus, Gravity Bind, Magic Cylinder, Mind Crush, Mirror Force, Ojama Trio, Return from the Different Dimension, The Transmigration Prophecy, Torrential Tribute, Trap Dust Shoot, Ultimate Offering, and Wall of Revealing Light.
For semi-limited monsters, we have
Dark Armed Dragon, Judgment Dragon, Manticore of Darkness, Mask of Darkness, Necroface, Phantom of Chaos, and Rescue Cat.
And for semi-limited spells, we have
Book of Moon, Card of Safe Return, Chain Strike, Foolish Burial, Magical Stone Excavation, and Nobleman of Crossout.
and there were no semi-limited traps. Okay, so that was the entire forbidden and limited list. The legal sets were every set from Legend of Blue Eyes to Crossroads of Chaos, but we'll get more into that later on in the video. Okay, so next, like I've explained in other introduction videos, one has to remember original rules and card text. The greatest examples here are the player going first drawing a card and also priority. Like I've explained before in my Go format video, simply put, priority is a player's right to activate their monster's effects as a chain link 1. So priority in this format with Dark Armed Dragon is a little bit broken. Also, another relevant rule, as pointed out to me by a YouTube comment, is the old field spell rule stating that only one field spell can be active on the field. In other words, if your opponent activates a field spell while you have another field spell face up on the field already, your field spell is destroyed via game mechanic. The field spell rule isn't very relevant in this format, but I wanted to give a few examples so that players can stay true to the format and rules in place at that time. So now that we've gone over the ban list, legal sets, and rules, let's talk about some staple cards and strategies. I'm going to kick this off with DD Crow. DD Crow is an excellent card to main or side deck this format because TeleDAD was indeed the best deck, and DD Crow is pretty damn good against it. This is because Destiny Hero Malicious is the core of the deck, and banishing it from the graveyard literally throws a wrench in the engine. This next card is also very important as it is debatably the most powerful trap card of all time. Of course, I'm talking about Solemn Judgment, which was at 3 at the time, believe it or not. This card does everything from stopping the normal summon of a Diamond Dude, for example, or even stopping Heavy Storm because Heavy Storm was legal this format, or even stopping Dark Armed Dragon himself from being summoned, which is really strong. Solemn Judgment literally does it all, but costs half of your life points every time it is activated, so that is something to look out for. So moving on to other staple cards, starting with the spells, we have Heavy Storm, Mystical Space Typhoon, and Monster Reborn. Heavy Storm and Mystical Space Typhoon are basically your only spell trap destruction besides Breaker, so they are very important. And Monster Reborn is Monster Reborn. It is a power spell, and there is a reason why it is banned today. And if you're playing TeleDAD, Reinforcement of the Army, Emergency Teleport, Destiny Draw, and and Allure of Darkness are all staples as well. Since TeleDAD is a dark deck, Allure is perfect for draw power, as is Destiny Draw, not only because of Malicious, but because of Destiny Hero Diamond Dude. Diamond Dude and Dark Grepher are both warriors, so Reinforcement of the Army is a perfect card to complement the deck. For other staple traps besides Solemn Judgment, we have Crush Card Virus, Torrential Tribute, Trap Dust Shoot, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, and Mirror Force. Crush Card Virus is a great card against big monsters before they even become a problem, and Destiny Hero Malicious is a great crush card target, as is Sangan. And Sangan was also a staple card available at the time. And the rest of these cards are pretty self-explanatory. We have Torrential, which is a defensive board wipe, and then Dust Shoot also gets rid of problems before they hit the field, and Wing Blast and Mirror Force take care of problems when they are on the field. For staple monsters, I'm only going to be going over TeleDAD staples right now, but I will show deck profiles of other meta decks for the format here soon, and when I do, I'll discuss the staples of those decks. And I'll also discuss why those other decks were powerful and relevant. TeleDAD is considered by many to be a tier 0 deck, but as I stated earlier, since it was expensive, people innovated other decks as well to be competitive. So for staple monsters, we have of course Dark Arm Dragon himself, Dark Grepher, Sangan, Diamond Dude, Elemental Hero Stratos, rest in peace, Krebons, and Destiny Hero Malicious. Okay, so let's talk about Mali and Krebons. The reason why these two cards are so powerful together is not just because of the support cards available to them at the time, like D-Draw, Allure of Darkness, Emergency Teleport, etc. These cards were so powerful together because they allowed you to easily go into Stardust Dragon, for example. And Stardust Dragon could stop Heavy Storm and Mirror Force and all of that stuff that destroyed multiple cards. And the 2500 attack is pretty dang good. You could also easily go into Red Dragon Archfiend, or Thought Ruler Archfiend. But because of Emergency Teleport and the abundance of good level 4 monsters, you can also go into level 6 synchros. Great example of this is Goyo Guardian. And another really powerful synchro monster that was available at the time was Black Rose Dragon, which if you do not know what Black Rose does, it gives you an extra board wipe. Other monster staples vary from TeleDAD player to TeleDAD player, but they are as follows: Snipe Hunter, Caius the Shadow Monarch, Breaker the Magical Warrior, Gores the Emissary of Darkness, and Plague Spreader Zombie. Snipe Hunter was important because it not only lets you discard a card, but because of what I explained earlier about priority in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time, you can activate its effect on summon and get to roll a 6-sided die, and as long as you don't roll a 1 or a 6, you get to pop a card. Like I said, these card ratios will vary from deck to deck, and some players will add other cards that were legal during the time as well, like Destiny Hero Doomlord to help consistency and to out certain cards, or Mystic Tomato to turbo a dark monster onto the field. Okay, so now let's get into the deck profiles. First off, we have an example of a standard TeleDAD deck, also known as Diamond Dude Turbo. The deck's goal is to make powerful level 8 synchros, as well as get out Dark Arm Dragon, of course. This deck's consistency is legendary, with Allure of Darkness and Destiny Draw both being at 3. However, the deck can still brick if you draw all 3 Destiny Hero Malicious, and that dead hand is still referred to this day as the Mali Curse hand. Other than that though, the deck is super fun to play even to this day, and currently we have Destiny Hero Malicious at 3 even, as well as Summoner Monk now, so you can go Summoner Monk to Armageddon Knight to dump a Mali, and so on and so forth. So even though the deck isn't as powerful as it used to be, especially compared to other modern decks, you can still technically play it to this day even with Dad being at 1. And if you're wondering why there's Gladiator Beasts in the extra deck when this is not a Gladiator Beast deck, it's because of Brain Control and Goyo Guardian being able to take control of your opponent's monsters, which in turn lets you contact views with their monsters. Next up, we have the legendary Gladiator Beasts. Glad Beasts were a force to be reckoned with for sure, and Glad Beasts played some powerful anti-meta cards at the time, like Thunder King Ryo, DD Warrior Lady, Shrink, and one of the most broken spells of all time, Cold Wave, which can slow most decks, including TeleDAD, down to a crawl. And next up, we have M-Cole40's favorite deck, Gadgets, which he actually topped with back in the day. Gadgets also main decked a lot of anti-meta cards like Glad Beast did to directly target TeleDAD decks. Thunder King Ryo is a great example that I've already talked about, but also Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, which is still an amazing card in Yu-Gi-Oh! To this day. Not allowing a TeleDAD player to banish cards not only hurts malicious plays, but also hurts Dad himself. The deck also plays Bottomless Trap Hole and Royal Oppression in addition to the already broken trap lineup. Last up, we have Light Sworns, which had an extra board wipe over other decks in the form of Judgment Dragon. The deck was also made consistent and was at full power with 3 charge of the Light Brigade and 3 solar recharge, and even Foolish Burial being it too. There were also great cards available to mill out of your deck at the time. I'm referring directly to Necro Gardna and Plague Spreader Zombie. Necro Gardna allowing you to stay alive, and Plague Spreader of course being one of the best tuners in the game and summoning himself from the graveyard for synchro plays. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I love the response that this series has been getting from the community, and I will be doing several other Yu-Gi-Oh formats as I go along. The next format I'm going to be doing is Necros format, which is definitely in my top 5 favorite Yu-Gi-Oh formats, so I'm really excited to get to work on that. I am very happy that there are so many other players out there that enjoy old school Yu-Gi-Oh as much as I do. Be sure to support the channel guys, and as always, dick slap that like button and subscribe.
Subscribe!